Now we would be learning the easy calc tricks to divide the numbers really fast. Okay, so my question to you is again very straightforward. How fast can you divide this huge number with 43? Okay, since this number has how many digits? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, since it's a 7 digit number, so I'm giving you 12 seconds to do it, and your time starts now. Give it a try. Your time is up. The correct answer is 62,314. Now you don't have to tell me that you did not get that answer, or for that matter any answer at all, for I know that unless you use a calculator or you know this easy cal trick of dividing numbers, there is no way by which you can divide a 7-digit number in 12 seconds. So let's first check out the usual way of doing it, then I'll show you the faster way. Now, before we see the usual way to divide these numbers, let me warn you, as you know that the usual way to divide any number is very long. So please be patient. Alright, so let's start now. You might be aware that this entire number that is being divided is known as dividend, and this number that is dividing this number is known as divisor. Okay, and we are going to write our answer here in this space, and that answer is known as, in technical terms, quotient. Okay, and if there is any digit left in the end, that would be the remainder. So now let's start dividing these numbers. So break this dividend into manageable parts. So first we are going to divide 267 by 43. Okay, but that again is a very difficult thing to say. If I ask you how many times 43 will go into 267, the answer would be difficult to say right away. So what we'll do, we are going to make it more manageable. So forget about this 3 and forget about this 7. Now just tell me how many times 4 will go into 26. So 4 6 times is 24. So write that 6 here as your answer digit or quotient, and then multiply your digits of divisor with this answer digit. So 6 3 times is 18, and 6 4 times is 24, and 24 plus 1 is 25. Now subtract these digits. So 17 minus 8 would be, we have borrowed 1 from here, so this becomes 5 and this becomes 17. So 17 minus 8 is 9. Now drop the next digit down. So copy 9 here. Okay. Now once again the same story. 43 will go in 99 how many times? So either you can straight away say 2 times, or you can once again hide this number, this digit and this digit here. So 4 2 times goes into 9. So I'll put 2 there. Now once again multiply this answer digit with the digits of the divisor. So 2 3 times is 6 and 2 4 times is 8. Now once again 9 minus 6 is 3, and this is 9 minus 8 is 1. Now drop down the next digit, it is 5. Now the same process again, hide this 3, hide this 5 and ask yourself how many times 4 will go into 13. Okay, so 4 3 times is 12. So write that 3 here, and once again multiply this with the divisor digits. So 3 3 times is 9, and 3 4 times is 12. Now 9 cannot be subtracted from 5, so borrow 1 from here, so this will become 2 and this will become 15. 15 minus 9 is how much? 6, and this is 12, minus 12 is nothing, 0. Now drop this 0 down, So this becomes 60, and once again the same thing. 4 how many times will go in 6? 1 times, so put 1 here, and 1 3 times is 3, and 1 4 times is 4. Now I had this fear always that we are going to run out of space. Now we have actually. This method is indeed very long, no problem. So 10 minus 3 is 7, and this had become 5, so this is 1. Now drop down this 2. Thankfully this is the last digit. This is 2 here. Now 4 will go how many times in 17? So 4 times is 16. So I write 4 here, and once again I multiply this. So 4 3 times is 12. So where should I write 12? Okay, I'm writing it here. And 4 4 is 16, and 16 plus 1 is 17. So subtracting 172 from 172, the remainder would be nothing, 0. Okay, so finally our answer or our quotient is this, 62,314. Now I know that you would be delighted to see the faster way of dividing the numbers, because in faster way you will get the answer in maximum 1 or 2 lines. Okay, now to divide these numbers the faster way, all you need to do is break this divisor into 2 manageable numbers. I'll break it as 4 and 3, where 4 would be our main divisor, okay, and this 3 would be called an unused digit. As the name suggests, we are not going to use it much to divide. Now the logic is that dividing with 43 might be difficult, but dividing with 4 is not, isn't it? So we'll be dividing with 4 all the time. Let's see how we go about it. Now 4 how many times will be 26? So 4 6 times is 24, so write 6 here. This is our answer digit. And what is the remainder? 26 minus 24 is 2, so write that remainder digit here. Are you getting the point? Now read this as 27. This would be read as 27. So our next dividend would be 27 minus the product of this unused digit and the answer digit that we have put. Okay, so 27 minus 3 times 6, that is 18. So 27 minus 18 would be 27 minus 8 is 19, and jumping down 10 is 9. So now our dividend is 9. Okay, 4 how many times goes in 9? 4 2 times is 8. So write 2 here, and the remainder is 1, isn't it? 9 minus 8 is 1. So I write 1 here. Okay, now this is read as 19. So our next dividend would be 19 minus the product of this unused digit and the answer digit that we have last put. Okay, so 19 minus 3 2 times is 6. So 19 minus 6 is 13. So this is our next dividend. So 4 goes how many times in 13? 4 3 times is 12. Again the remainder is 1. So the next dividend would be 15 minus 3 times 3, that is 9. 15 minus 9 is 6. So write 6 here. Now 4 goes how many times in 6? 1 times, as simple as that, and the remainder is 2. So write that 2 here. So now this is 20. The next dividend would be 20 minus the product of this unused digit and the answer digit that you have last put. So 20 minus 3 is 17. So 4 goes how many times in 17? 4 times is 16. So I write 4 here, and remainder is 1, isn't it? 17 minus 16 is 1, so I write 1 here. Now the next dividend would be 12 minus 3 times 4, that is 12, that is 0. Moment you get 0 as the dividend, that means the answer that you have got so far is the complete answer. So this is my answer, 62,314. So now let's practice more examples and see how easy and effective this method is. Okay, so now let's divide this number with 23 the faster way. Okay, so the first thing would be to break 23 into 2 parts. Take this first digit as the main divisor and keep this 3 as the unused digit. Okay, so 2 will go how many times in 7? 2 3 times is 6, write 3 here, remainder is 1, this becomes 13. Okay, so our next dividend would be 13 minus this unused digit times the answer digit. So 13 minus 9 is 4, so write 4 here. 2 how many times is 4? 2 2 times is 4, so write 2 here, and the remainder is 0 this time, so put 0 here. Now this would be read as 0 9, that is 9. So the next dividend would be 9 minus 3 2 times, that is 6. So 9 minus 6 is 3, so write 3 here. Now 2 goes how many times in 3? 1 times, remainder is 1. Okay, so the next dividend would be 12 minus 3 1 times, that is 3. 12 minus 3 is 9. So 2 goes how many times in 9? 2 4 times is 8, remainder is 1, so write the remainder digit here. So the next dividend would be 12 minus 3 4 times, that is 12, and 12 minus 12 is 0. Moment you get 0 as the dividend, you know that this is what is going to be the complete answer. So the answer is 3214. So let's find out what is this number divided by 74. So once again, take 7 as your main divisor and this 4 as your unused digit. 7 will go how many times in 21? 7 3 times is 21. But then this should ring a warning bell in your mind, because I know this is not 7, this is 74, and 74 is going how many times in 210? I know that 73 times is 210. So 74 3 times would be more than 210. So I would not put 3 here, rather I'll put one number less, that is 2. If I put 3 there, then what will happen, that the next dividend that I'm going to get would be negative, and you can't have a negative dividend. Now 7 2 times is 14, and 21 minus 14 is 7, so my remainder is 7. Now this is 70, so the next dividend would be 70 minus 4 times 2, that is 8. 70 minus 8 is 62. Okay, now this is positive. Had we put 3 here, it would have been negative. 7 goes how many times in 62? 7 9 times is 63, that is more than that, so 7 8 times is 56. Now remainder would be, what should you add to 56 to get 62? 6, so remainder is 6. Now our next dividend would be 60 minus 4 times 8, that is 32. Okay, so 60 minus 2 is 58, and jumping down 30, that is 3 tenths, would be 28. 7 goes how many times in 28? 7 4 times is 28. Again, this is a very close call, so it should ring up a warning bell. Now let's see what will happen. Okay, this time I'm not reducing the number, I'm just putting the number which I'm getting as it is. 7 4 times is 28, so I'm putting 4 here. Now let's see what will happen. So the remainder here is 0, isn't it? So this is 0 8, that is 8. So our next dividend would be 8 minus 4 times 4, that is 16. Now a smaller number minus a bigger number would obviously give you a negative number, so we'll get a negative dividend here. But you can't have a negative dividend, isn't it? So that means that this should not have been 4, this should have been 3, and we must go a step back. Are you getting the point? So like when I told you, when you get a 0 dividend, it means that it's time to stop. You have answered the question completely. But when you get a negative dividend, it means that you have made a false move. So you must go a step back, isn't it? It's a penalty that is imposed on you. All right. So I'll just go a step back and take this as 3. Okay, so 7 3 times is 21. Okay, so 28 minus 21 is 7, so I'll put 7 here. Now our next dividend would be 78 minus 4 times 3, that is 12. So 78 minus 12 would be 78 minus 2 is 76, and jumping down 10 would be 66. So our next dividend is 66, which is positive. So 7 how many times is 66? 7 9 times is 63. So I'll write 9 here, and our remainder is 3. And our next dividend would be 36 minus 4 times 9, that is 36. So 36 minus 36 is 0. So you get a 0 dividend, and that means the answer that we have got so far is the complete answer. So the answer is 2839. So just remember this thing, that every time you get a negative dividend, that means you have made a false move. So now you must pay the penalty and you must go a step back, okay, and reduce the last answer digit that you have put by 1. Okay, if you have put 4 there, then you reduce it by 1 and write 3 there. Okay, and if you get a 0 dividend, then that means that you have completed the question, you have got the complete answer. As simple as that. Okay, so now let's see how fast we can divide these numbers. So let's start from here. 6 will go how many times in 27? 6 4 times is 24. So the remainder is 3. This becomes 36. Now our new dividend would be 36 minus 4 times 4 is 16. So 36 minus 16 would be 30, 20. That is jumping down 10. Okay, so 6 3 times is 18. So I write 3 here and 2 is the remainder, so I put 2 here. Okay, so once again our new dividend would be 24 minus 4 times 3, that is 12. So 24 minus 12 is obviously 12. 6 how many times is 12? 6 2 times is 12, so I put 2 here, and of course the remainder is 0. Now the new dividend would be 8 minus 4 times 2, that is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0 obviously, so that means this is our answer, 432. Okay, do the next one. 8 how many times is 43? 8 5 times is 40, so the remainder is 3. Okay, the new dividend would be 34 minus 3 times 5, that is 15. So 34 minus 15 would be 34 minus 5 is 29, and jumping down 10 is 19. So our new dividend is 19. 8 how many times would be 19? 8 2 times is 16, and the remainder is 3 of course. Okay, so the new dividend would be 30 minus 3 times 2, that is 6. 30 minus 6 is 24. 8 will go into 24 how many times? 8 3 times is 24. So I put 3 here, remainder is 0. So now what we have? The new dividend, it would be 9 minus 3 times 3, that is 9. So 9 minus 9 is 0. Moment you get 0 here as the dividend, you know that this is what your answer is, 523. So now the last one. 9 how many times is 68? 9 7 times is 63. So the remainder is 5. The new dividend would be 51 minus 2 times 7, that is 14. 51 minus 4 is 47. Jumping down 10 is 37. So the new dividend is 37. 9 how many times is 37? 9 4 times is 36. So the remainder is 1. So the new dividend would be 17 minus 2 times 4, that is 8. So 17 minus 8 is 9. 9 how many times is 9? 9 1 times is 9. So the remainder is of course 0. Now the new dividend would be 2 minus 2 times 1, that is 0. So moment you get 0 as a dividend, you know that this is what your answer is. Now do you see the difference between this faster way and the usual way? With this faster way, we have managed to do 3 questions on one page, and with the usual way we could not even do one question on one page, isn't it? We ran out of space, and not only we did it in less space, but we did it in less time and with so much ease. Why? Because all the time we were taking single digits as the main divisor. There lies the difference. And you always thought that division was difficult.